tonight's scene in the city of New Salem, Massachusetts, is set in the Last Resort, a small but good, comfortable dive bar in the industrial district where Stefan Braunfiedler has been working for some months now. He's There aren't too many people. He sees a familiar woman sitting in the same seat as always, having the same drink as usual, nursing it for hours while she doesn't order it on the rocks, staring at the same picture of a man. To anyone else, it's like, who is this? But to people that know her, it's probably an eldest child, deceased, a husband. Yeah. A couple guys, the far back tables, and maybe one guy sitting in one of the little tables in the middle of the floor, out in the open. Maybe he's watching news, sports, whatever the clientele wishes to watch. Stefan's all too happy to oblige. But he's making some more, some interesting headway. Maybe rearranging things, maybe taking inventory. The owner, his employer, is getting rather tense of late, worried about overpouring, worried about inventory. They still do serve sandwiches, but he's even cracking down on that. And Stefan is doing these little things, maintaining the cleanliness that he's brought the inside of this place to, keeping it that way as best he can, as Dave and Sarah, and even Carl, when he's not sitting at the door, doing his job as the bouncer of the place, does as well. It's a good team effort, good cohesive unit in this bar. But Stefan, while he's working, he begins to think just how slow it is, how much he would like to actually be able to shift his means, the end to his means, I should say. Not just for more freedom, but maybe for more secure financial options. The thought occurs to him with the recent reminder of a certain mediation. He begins to think that there's a bit of business that he still has yet to fully negotiate or hash out with Mutt. Stefan kind of leans against the back bar. Cautiously, carefully, pulls his phone out from a trouser pocket, opens it up, and looks for Ruben's number and dials it.
While Stefan is calling Mutt, a.k.a. Ruben Hidalgo, has been walking from the Eagle. He has made it roughly past a couple of blocks away from it, and his phone goes off. Taking it out of his pocket, you'll see that it is Stefan Braunfiedler. Activating it, he answers, "Yeah?"
Ruben. I hope you're having a good evening.
It's all right, more or less.
Uh, I know what you mean. Difficult weeks and all.
Yeah. Let me guess. You're at work.
Yeah, as usual. How did you guess?
Just like a guess. You want me to head over there?
Well, I did have something to discuss with you, especially in lieu of a recent conversation that I had with Axel after rather narrowly avoiding rocky circumstances.
I got you. I'll be there in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. And the phone abruptly hangs up.
As both end their call, Mutt will get a cab. It's the Eagle, so well, close enough to the Eagle. There are some cabs still kind of running around these safer aspects of the city. They don't go into projects, but thankfully.
Yes, indeed. There's actually a classic New Serum Yellow Cab parked more or less in front of the Eagle, actually.
Stroke of luck as as Mutt gets into the cab, tells the cabbie to head to the last resort. Cabbie kind of gives him a weird look. It's like you just got out of the Eagle, and Mutt just goes,
a little bar hopping tonight, huh? Yeah.
"Yeah, I gotta find some way."
Yeah, I know what you mean, buddy. I know what you mean. I like to do that once in a while. My days off and shit. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I gotta find something to do since they kind of locked down the city and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fucking National Guard. Fucking governor thinks he can come on in here, start telling us what to fucking do like that. I'm like, geez, that son of a bitch. Fucking bitch slap. This is what he's having this conversation while he starts peeling off quite expertly. Is this guy a cabbie or a race car driver? He speeds off, but you don't even feel the vehicle like lurch forward. It just smoothly, like he knows what the fuck he's doing, and he starts taking turn after turn, knowing the streets quite well. He's actually going down the streets where he's taking the streets that aren't primary. Seems to be avoiding what's it called, checkpoints, to do his clientele a favor. If you look around, I mean, a couple of checkpoints, you might notice people looking at the cab here and there, like National Guard, whatever police officers are on duty, might look at the cab, but they don't do anything at all. They just wave to the cabbie like that, casually. Says, yeah, fucking governor thinks he can come on in here and start, telling National Guard to boss our asses around. I'm like, Jesus, why doesn't the mayor just grow a pair of fucking balls, bitch slap the fucking police union and tell them get back to fucking work?
Well, if he could do that, I'm pretty sure he would. Unfortunately, when it comes to people hearing that they get screwed in the ass, well, they don't exactly want to get screwed in the ass unless they got loot for it.
yeah. Oh man, Jesus, man, I haven't had a laugh like that in a while. Cab driver continues driving, and before you know it, I mean, like 5 more minutes, maybe less, and pulls up and across the street in front of where the last resort is like you see the meter. It's like 1650s, like But that laugh, just give me a 10, bro. Just give me a 10. It's all good.
As he says that, though, Mutt'll actually give him a full 20 and just say, that extra 10 there, that's for getting through the pad, not doing the check bullshit. Anyway, you have a nice night.
You too, man. You too. Enjoy your evening.
I will.
Out of the car, the cab driver just kind of gives him up and then heads off.
As Mutt walks up to the last resort, the doorman, for all intents and purposes, you would smell, and obviously, once entering into the bar, the smell of heavy smoke from Mutt's body could be smelled. It's obvious that he's been smoking a lot more recently. Why he's been smoking a lot more recently, well, that's something Stefan can figure out if he...
Yeah. When you walk in, well, whether you know his name or not, Carl looks up at you. He's a pretty big, stocky man. Not too tall, actually. 5'9"? 5'9", 5'10", just fucking stocky as hell. He just looks at you and just kind of... He doesn't give you a dirty look. This is one of the few bouncers that doesn't give you a dirty look. He never has. He just like, come on, man.
Thanks. Appreciates that kind of shit as Mutt enters into the last resort, noticing, for all intents and purposes, how slow it seems, how empty. It's one of the things for the last resort is when there's a lot of people, it seems very tight, very tightly knit, smaller than you would think from the outside. But now you can see the spaciousness of the bar itself as Mutt walks over straight to the bar where Stefan is hopefully at.
Yeah, Stefan's still leaning up against the back bar. He's actually reading a book. It's on what is it? Like a computer for dummies type book, or some kind of like basic instructional how-to type of thing.
As Mutt sits down at the bar, he'll go, "Hey, Stefan, working on that little project of yours, huh?"
You see him pull out a bookmark, and he marks it a little bit past the halfway point, and he just kind of closes it, sets it right by the register on the back bar. That's if step one is good. I talked to an associate of mine, and she is working on trying to find a night classes, night driving school, I should say.
Mutt just kind of gives a little smile. He might have an inkling of who it is, but he's not one to talk about such things. So, what exactly is that you wanted to talk about?
Stefan looks over at Carl with this it's kind of like usual knowing look between them. It says, "Carl, can you keep an eye on things for a moment? I'm just going to go to the back to speak this gentleman." Carl looks at Stefan. It's like sighs. Sure, not a problem. He just starts heading back toward the office and just kind of motions for Mutt.
Mutt gets up and follows Stefan into the back. He hasn't been to the back of the establishment for quite a while. In fact, he hasn't been at the Wrestle Resort for quite a while, but with how the nights have been recently, it's rather difficult.
Stefan goes in first and sits behind the desk, motioning Mutt in to come in and close the door.
Entering in, Mutt will shut the door behind them as he sits down in that chair. Again, the past memories of being here and getting, especially getting cowed by Stefan's aggressive tone. But those are things long gone, long past. No, there's no more feelings of anger towards that. No, this is business talk between two fairly noticeable or fairly noticed kindred.
So, it occurred to me from the night of the mediation that you owe me a boon.
Yes, that is what Axel told me.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have a feeling it's not some little itty-bitty thing. I'm fairly certain it's a pretty big one.
Well, I've given it a little bit of thought since Axel made me fully aware of it. And technically speaking, not you specifically, but it's more tied to the office that you are holding for Lacy.
So you're saying the whip owes you a favor, is what you're saying.
Yes. Is this agreeable?
Yes. Technically, I was acting as whip, so for all intents and purposes, whoever's whip is owed that responsibility, more or less.
Now, given the severity of the topic, given the fact that we all could have been doing something much more productive that evening, it practically took a whole night. I believe that would be fairly substantial, as you said, moderate in stature.
All right. Sounds about right with what you had to do and everything.
Me and Axel recently had a discussion on the southern Lucerne beach, not Shell Beach, of course. Too hot, not enough space, not enough breathing room. It was quite an embarrassing night, actually, being so underfed, so under duress from situations as of late that have cropped up.
Yeah, it seems that way recently. It's been hard for me as well. I mean,
but
even the homeless, it seems that you can hardly find them nowadays.
Yeah, mainly around the shelter in downtown, very strictly kept. But that is still an option, as are others that are generally detestable to the palate. But Axel has, at my behest, begun to turn over a bit of a new leaf.
Really?
So he will give you the details, but expect to hear him call a special meeting of neonates in the city. It became far too apparent that night that feeding alone is far too risky, not just for an individual, but to all the kindred of the city as a whole.
I see. Well,
And it has also become far too apparent to me that Axel actively cleaning up others' messes has taken far too great a toll on him.
Yeah, I
So,
can kind of see that. Seen that at the church recently.
do not say anything until it comes up in this discussion and just agree with the decision that he makes. He is going to make a decree. Which, if we have as many neonates supporting him, it will send a message to those above us in station.
Yes. All right. So I just have to agree with him on something. Is
Just agree. That is it. As far as that boon is concerned, it is owed to me for the moment by the office of the Brujah clan whip.
right.
However, if that boon changes hands, it is no less valid.
Of course not. If Lacy comes back, I'll of course inform her of the boon, and I will see to it that she agreed upon it because I agreed upon it. Now, Stefan, if we could kind of go into a little something else. Remember that time you said you wanted to help me out and see if someone was doing something in my apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got my answer.
Hmm.
It was this gang called APOC Maya.
A uh, gang.
Yeah, the guys with the machetes tried to be right here.
They are street thugs that usually police go after.
Well, they're slightly more organized than that, but pretty much yes. I don't know how it is that they found out where I lived, but I found one on the opposite side of the building where I lived. I tracked him down more or less, and I handled him. But I mean, that right there goes to show you I'm not safe where I'm living anymore. I haven't been living there. I haven't been living there for a while, though. Been
How
kind of
did
just
you know it was some member of a gang, an organization, and not just some random perpetrator of violence?
the APOC. They got a specific color. They wear like a yellow, usually like a neon yellow, but like any kind of yellow works. I found that on him. It was a yellow handkerchief, kind of like a bandana sort of thing.
Do you have that bandana?
Uh, Not anymore. I had to dispose of what I had. Unfortunately, that had to include. I don't think it would have been appropriate if I was to walk somewhere and a cop stops me and they find something bloody on me.
No, no.
As of right now, I've just been kind of going place to place, just trying to find a new haven. It's just been a little hectic recently with what happened with Damien and some other things. It's been really hard to find some things.
Yeah,
I'm actually
I I had a meeting earlier this evening. I was still a bit distracted. I meant to go directly to St. Mary's to check up on that, to see if that's where Damien was taken.
St.
Um,
Mary's. You mean the other hospital? Or,
in the historic district.
hmm.
But I'm still distracted. I just went along my normal nightly routine before going to work. But I am still going to check up on that to see if he is there. See if that's where he was taken, most likely, obviously in the morgue. Um, but this street gang, they walk the
Yes.
streets, right?
Well, well, they have cars and things like that, but yeah, but they're mostly in the projects. The ironic thing is that I took care of this guy a good couple of feels like a month ago almost. Just how time has been going recently, and they haven't retaliated or tried to look for me again. My figure is since the National Guard and FBI are around here, they're trying to keep pressure on them a little bit. Maybe they're more focused on trying to keep under the toes of them instead of trying to go after some guy. And who knows? Maybe they figured one guy they sent was more than enough, and he just got sick and tired of her left, or they found out.
How is it that this street gang ties to me? What are you asking exactly?
No. It's just I just had an inkling, that somebody had been messing with my shit, At least more or less this kind of answers it. At the very least, they found out where I lived and they did something to it. I mean, I still have to look through it. Can't just. I've been spending money on an apartment I don't even live in anymore. It's a waste. It's a waste of money. I tried to find a place in Dockings, but they're too pricey over there. And he kind of goes, a little room with big ass windows. You want to know how much they were trying to charge me for that shit?
How much?
$1,000 a month. $1,000 a month for basically a little room with giant windows.
Quiet neighborhood.
No, it was by the docks. It was one of those. They converted one of those like old dock warehouses and tried to turn them into apartments or some bullshit like that.
But the neighborhood is quiet.
Yeah, I mean, fairly quiet.
So you suspect that they did something to your apartment?
I think so. When I went there, it felt off. I remember putting some things in certain places and they were kind of out in the open. But then I kind of got a feeling maybe I just left them there, but it was one of those weird feelings. It's like when you have a weird feeling like that, you usually don't feel comfortable. And that's what I've been feeling recently. I was feeling at that time.
Interesting.
It's like that shit, and then the shit with Damien recently, and then all this other stuff that's been piling on me recently.
So you found someone in the apartment when you went back there?
No, I didn't find anyone specifically. It just seemed like someone had been in it and moved things around. If anything, it could have just been they went in there and moved things around to kind of say, we know where you are, we can mess with your stuff, or we can get in when you don't expect it, sort of thing. I mean, I kind of figure the street gang's not smart enough to have listening devices and some bullshit, but you can't be too careful. I mean, there are places nowadays that sell video recording and tracking devices and all this other bullshit. Honestly,
I could take a look if you would like.
If we could both do it, that'd be nicer, because, well,
I'm a little hesitant if they see you walking in there, it might tip someone off. I guess. Well, you said that they are an organization. You say that what they like. How do they operate? Do they patrol the streets like police? Like
Uh,
what do they do? What are,
well, they don't. I wouldn't say they patrol. Remember, they're from the projects. They're from the bad side, I believe. They're like deep in there, the bowels of that shithole. In any case, they usually have guys walking the streets. If anything, they probably have guys who aren't wearing colors, and they just look around to see what's going on.
so there could be eyes watching that apartment that you would not know.
It's possible, yes.
That is troubling.
But to be fair, at this moment in time, I don't even know if they care about the fact that I'm still walking around or not. I mean, they got the National Guard and they got the FBI here in the city. I mean, they might be more concerned with trying to make sure that they don't get on that receiving end. I mean the projects and shits.
Projects that you lived again, I do not recall.
It was close to it. It was that weird little area that was between downtown and the projects, but it was closer to the projects. That's why it was cheaper.
Okay. So a few blocks into the projects.
Yeah.
On a main thoroughfare, there are two, one east and one west.
I'd say it was the east, I believe.
I will. I will go take a look at in your apartment, but I'm going to have to ask that I do this by myself. I would not want any onlookers to see anyone head toward that area necessarily. Do you live in an apartment on the street, or
it is? It's one of those if I remember exactly, it was one of those couple-story buildings. I believe I'm on the third floor.
okay? But the front door is not easily surveilled.
No. If anything, it's probably just one of those ones that you just open it up and you're already in there. I mean, they have a night guy there, but for all intents and purposes, he doesn't do his fucking shit anyway. The landlord was a piece of shit anyway.
I assume you lock your apartment door?
Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't, like I said, I haven't been there for a while. Honestly, I was just thinking of just telling the landlord I was going to not be there anymore. If you want to sell my shit, to sell my shit.
Well, given that you still pay rent on the apartment, you do still have renter's rights. That is still your place. You stay somewhere else. Nobody needs to know that, not even myself, of course.
Yeah.
I keep my haven secret. You should keep your secret. It is the only thing we really have that is safe. So, I will need a apartment key, and I will go check it out.
Mutt takes out a he takes off a keychain that's on his pockets. He'll undo, and it's a rather normal size looking key. It's got a number on it. It's 347. Should be his place.
347. Stefan takes the key, placing it into his left trouser pocket. Now, as far as Axel's concerned, myself and Axel are, we came up with this plan. In lieu of the difficulties, it being so dangerous, more dangerous now to be feeding alone. And this is what you should keep under your hat. You know, practice it yourself, but don't tip anyone off. Just make an excuse, like, oh, you would like to hang out with somebody socially. You know, when you do your feeding, that way you have somebody to watch your back. You share meals.
You see.
And be discreet, of course. The other thing is, I have encouraged Axel, and Axel agrees to this. If there are problems, messes that need to be cleaned up, it's not Axel that is going to be doing it personally. He will, you can go to him, he will give you the tools, so to speak, and he will delegate those tasks to those who made the mess. Or, if it is too hot, so to speak, too dangerous, too risky, he will have someone else do it, and that person will do something for the one who is cleaning up that mess.
Sounds like you and Axel put a lot of thought into this.
Now, this is what I ask. Whatever you see on the streets yourself, around the city, that is of particular value, that is, could denote risk to us, bring this to me. I will inform Axel, and Axel will make the final decisions on how to go about solving these issues.
All right, I'll do that for you, and Axel, of course.
Now, I have to have assurances, Mutt, that you are going to actually do this. People say things, but they do not mean it.
Okay, what kind of assurance do you want?
Stefan takes a moment. He he's contemplating something. You can definitely see he's thinking. Um, you could, if you want, make a perception empathy. I know you don't have the empathy part, right? So
No, and
difficulty 8.
I don't see shit.
Nothing.
No,
Thinking about something, but you can't figure it out.
maybe
to his face is a blank slate.
Mutt's thinking about, he's still thinking about, the trying to find a new place. Pretty much, that's what's on his mind at the moment.
A test of loyalty to the sect as a whole, a test of loyalty to the Camarilla, and that you believe that whatever needs to be done to secure the safety of all who live in the city be done.
Okay, what exactly does this test imply? What exactly is the requirements for this?
Stefan begins to look at his hand a little bit. He's looking at his hand, but he's actually the way he's holding his hand up, his vision is tracing down, but you can't tell that. A contract signed in blood. And Stefan holds his hand out, exposing his wrist. A small taste to dedicate your loyalty, to ensure that you will do what I ask in the best interest of the Camarilla and the safety of everyone in the city.
Mutt looks at Stefan's wrist. There's a peculiar look on his face as he looks at this. It's he thinks back maybe to what his sire talked about, these kinds of things.
Stefan is going to be looking at Mutt to gauge his emotions, gauge his state of mind a bit. That's perception, empathy, if I remember correctly. And he will be actually using aspects too in this instance. 1, 2. Oh, didn't mean to do that.
I didn't know 10s failed. Damn.
Okay. I believe that actually is. Oh, I hate forgetting these things once in a while.
Are you looking up colors or whatever?
No. I don't work off. I don't work off color charts. It's for amateurs. If I remember correctly. No, definitely. Yes, indeed. Okay. What is your primary emotion at this point?
I would say it is confusion.
At the moment that you're contemplating this, as Stefan holds his wrist out, are you distracted or are you looking at Stefan?
He was looking at the risk.
Okay.
The risk, I should say.
Perception alertness, difficulty 8 then. You can catch this.
Nope. Oof.
Oh, you do not notice the. Oh wait, was that one as a single one or 2 ones?
That was 2 ones.
2 ones. Okay. You don't notice the wash of confusion over Stefan's face. Now, Mutt. There is no trick here. There is no deception. There is no need for your mind to waver in this decision. It is quite simple. You wish to do what is best, not just for any of us, but also for your own. That's what this is, and I'm actually going to attempt. This is actually going to be a mundane social roll. This is going to be an expression, charisma expression, actually. Because actually not trying to trick you or lie to you, he's trying to get you to agree without the need for deception. It's tricky, but interesting. So, yeah, charisma, expression, and the difficulty would be 7. Lower that by 2, so difficulty 5. Oh, holy hell.
Well,
successes.
Well, it seems that what Stefan is saying is genuine. Doesn't seem like he is actively trying to lie to Mutt. I mean, he doesn't sense it. Usually Mutt can tell if someone's trying to bullshit him or not, but at this moment in time, he doesn't see it. And, well, for all intents and purposes, this will help out Axel, right?
Indeed.
As Mutt takes Stefan's wrist, Stefan would see the forming of the fangs and the biting into the wrist.
Just a small taste.
Mutt taking in that strange taste of of kindred blood. It's no one's really told him the sensation of kindred blood, but it seems it's a rather intoxicating thing. It's like being on several different kinds of drugs at the same time as he drinks. And almost as quickly as the bite comes and the kiss has already commenced, he is done.
You take about half a blood point worth. Licking the wound afterwards. And you are, at this point, one step blood bonded. When it's done, Stefan looks at you. Now, no one is to know about this contract. It is between myself and you.
Understood.
Your sire has released you. You have been released for some time. You're your own kindred, able to make your own decisions, and Axel trusts you, so you make good decisions. This is why this contract is only between myself and you. No one is to know.
All right.
It is for the good.
Right. The greater good. Is that everything?
Yeah. Just keep what I've told you a little bit ahead of time. Keep it secret. Don't let on to it yet. Axel is planning things. He's trying to.
Yeah.
But I
Axel's got Axel's got it where it counts. So he'll figure shit out when he needs to. He needs me, he'll call me. As Mutt gets up from the chair, he'll stick out his hand for Stefan to shake.
Stefan takes it in a business-like handshake.
Yeah. Shaking it. I'll see you around then. With that, Mutt will leave the back area and he'll head out of the last resort. His mind perhaps wondering if he's made a deal with the proverbial devil, but for all intents and purposes, what is done is done. And I wonder what the German Malkavian has to say on the night's latest event.
With Mutt having left the office, Stefan takes a couple moments afterwards just thinking to himself, I hope this is not another mistake. Indeed. Maybe the Tremere will appreciate this gesture, a way of giving back what was stolen. As he gets up from the chair he was sitting in and goes back out to the front of the bar to resume his night of